Okay, I'm going to say this in 3 minutes or less. For the past 2 years or more, at least the past 2 years, my blood pressure has been hovering in the 140s to 150s over 80s to low 90s. 143 over 86, 154 over 86, over 92. That bottom number is an indication of how much rest your heart is getting in between pumps. So when it's in those upper 80s and 90s, your heart is working too hard. Been taking blood pressure medication, but for the past 2 years or more, it's been consistently in the 140s to 150s, over 80s, and over the 90s. Some doctors have told me that's normal for someone my age. I'm 62 now. They was telling me that in my 50s. I didn't like it. My doctor didn't like it. And no matter what she did, she was trying to figure out what she could do to get my blood pressure normalized and trying to figure out why the medication wasn't working. Now I realize, and I knew it had a lot to do with my job situation. There's a lot of things, more than one thing, that can contribute to blood pressure being too high. But I knew that my job was a problem, but I was not going to quit my job. I'm not somebody who has been easy to move around, change jobs a lot. I get to a place and I like the stability of knowing that I'm there, I'm getting paid, even when the pay hasn't been what I needed it to be. I'm just one of those people who has a tendency to get stuck in places. I was stuck living somewhere for 13 years and I should have been out of there, but I finally broke that. And in my job situation, it was extremely stressful. Like, I should have been gone. And I had prayed to God that I wanted to be there for a certain amount of time, because if I was able to stay for a certain amount of time, I would be able to leave with a certain amount of money. But I did say to him, Lord, this is what I want, and I'm not going to change what I want, but I will submit to you if you have a better plan. Okay, and I meant that because I was tired. My soul was getting tired. And I didn't want to sit at a job and have a stroke. I didn't want to be one of those people that we've heard about who dies at work, dies in the parking lot because the job is so stressful. They don't know how to quit. Everything is a big deal, and it just was worrying them. So my blood pressure was not moving from them numbers. 2 weeks ago, against what I desired, I'm no longer employed. First thing I want to say is I've never been happier in my life since I left that job 2 weeks ago. That's the first thing I want to say. I've never been this happy. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? And the next thing I want to tell you is when I left the job on that Monday, the next week on that Wednesday, I had a doctor's appointment. My blood pressure that has not moved from the 140s and 150s over 80s to low mid 90s, last week, the second week, not even a second full week after I left the job, my blood pressure was 120 over 68. The only thing that had changed was I was no longer employed. I need you to understand one thing. For me, I understand that when one of the best things, or the best thing I could have done in that situation, was say, Lord, this is what I desire because of this. But if you have a better plan, I submit to your plan. Who's to say that him allowing me to leave that job under circumstances that I wouldn't normally want to be gone, who's to say it didn't save my life? Who's to say that blood pressure wouldn't have lasted on that job another 2 months? Who's to say? He knows for sure. But I'm thankful. And I want to say this to you because I want you to understand that you can be holding on to a job that's stressing you out and it's normal to you. You've accepted it because you have bills to pay. You could be holding on to some type of a relationship. And I'll dare say it could even be a church relationship. We've seen the videos of what happens to some people in some of these churches. And if you're not in agreement with it, and if it rubs you the wrong way, and you know it's not God's will for your life, but you feel stuck, you better find a way to get unstuck. Ask God to help you get out of the situation that, as far as you know, is killing you little by little. High blood pressure is known as the silent killer. People have died with the type of numbers that I had for over 2 years straight. But for the grace of God, I'm glad he took me off that job. I'm glad that I saw within less than 2 weeks how my blood pressure normalized just from getting out of that stressful situation. Check your life. Check what you're involved in. Check who you are connected to. Check every relationship, from your job to your family to friends to church to whatever you're dealing with, your business that you started from the ground up. You better check every single relationship in your life, get a handle on what's stressing you out, and surrender that thing to God for his better plan for your life. It might save your life. It might save you a trip to ICU days in there. It might save you a trip in an ambulance in an emergency situation. It might save you a stroke. It might save you a heart attack. It might save you all kinds of things that your body is keeping track of, but you're pushing through because you feel like you got to do what you got to do. Your body is continuing to keep score. Check your blood pressure, check your glucose, check that stuff. And when you find out where that stress is, do not talk yourself out of getting out of that situation. You don't owe anybody anything, but you owe your best to yourself to take care of yourself and to get up out of anything that's chipping away at your life, and chipping away at your peace, and chipping away at your peace of mind, and chipping away at your health. And you going to the doctor and the numbers are just creeping up and creeping up and creeping up. And every time it's time to, no, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. God's got you. Tell him, this is what I want. I'm not going to lie to you about what I want, but I will surrender to you if you have a better plan. It might just save your life.